Salute and welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, where you will enjoy an entertaining short story from acclaimed humor columnist Rob Kreider. Story time is the family portion of the show. Then we move on from the stories to the cocktails. This is where the alcohol and the not safe for work portion of the show takes over, as Rob and his wife /editor /muse Sara Kreider are taking some adult beverages and provide you with a behind the scenes recap of what really inspired the original story. Put your feet up, relax, and enjoy yourself a round of stories and cocktails. Cheers.
This story is called How to Live Kid-Free by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. I have 2 children. I love them both very much. But if I had 3 children, I would probably get on a motorcycle one day, tell the family I'm going to the store for smokes, and never come back. But since I only have 2 kids, don't own a motorcycle, and don't smoke, everything is okay at the Casa de Kreider. To ensure that this happiness continued, I decided to take drastic measures to make sure a 3rd kid didn't surprise me like the first 2 did. I researched for weeks and finally figured out what was going on. It turns out having sex with my wife was the reason I had 2 kids in the first place. That profound information about intercourse left me with 2 unpleasant choices. Either had to forgo sex with my wife for the rest of my life, or get neutered. I spoke with a doctor about getting a vasectomy. He told me I had to think about a few things before I jumped into this life-changing decision. He asked me what I would do if I got divorced and remarried a new woman who wanted children of her own. I told him, well, then she would be out of luck, wouldn't she, Doc? Let's skip this mumbo-jumbo and get to the part where I can have sex without worrying about condoms or having to change diapers again. The MD, who had absolutely no sense of humor, especially for a guy who is a penis doctor, never cracked a smile. He made an appointment for me to come into his office 1 week from that day and told me to shave my testicles. I asked him, all I have to do is shave my testicles and I won't be able to have children? Again, no laughter from the doctor. I was bombing in there. I really didn't like the guy, but hey, I didn't need him to laugh at my jokes or drink beers with me. I just need him to be a good surgeon. A careful and precise surgeon would be nice too, since he would be working in such an important place on my body. I spoke to a few guys at work who had vasectomies, and they said it was no big deal. One bragged about how he played softball the day after surgery, while the other boasted that he built a new deck right after he got home from the doctor's office. Even though they told me not to worry, I was getting pretty nervous. This was my very manhood we were talking about cutting. The day finally came, and I went to the doctor's office with my testicles shaved like Kojak's head. My wife dropped me off and asked me one more time if I was sure I didn't want to have one more baby with her. While she was asking me, the 2 kids were fighting over a stale French fry one of them found under the back seat. That's mine! I found it first! I dropped it last week, but I'm hungry though! I told my wife I loved her, but we had our hands full, and the earth was already overpopulated. I went into the doctor's office, sat down in the chair, and waited. And waited, and waited, and waited, while reading year-old People magazines while my stomach turned to knots. The nurse directed me to my room and told me to take off my pants and lay down on the cold steel table. I lay there naked from the waist down and waited for the penis doctor with no personality to come in and make me less of a man. He walked into the room and immediately took out the biggest needle I had ever seen in my life, and then he plunged it directly into my left testicle. It was the most painful thing I had ever been through in my life. It felt so bad, I can only describe it as if someone took a large, sharp object and then poked me right in the testicles. I said, "Whoa, Doc, that hurts." He replied, "Relax, this is the anesthesia." I said, "Well, how about some anesthesia for the anesthesia?" He just said, "You'll be all right." Then he grabbed my boys and began to pull them up to what felt like my neck. The pain was so bad, I began to feel myself get lightheaded. I could feel the pain all the way in my stomach. What did I do to deserve this? Then I blacked out. I woke up and I couldn't see the doctor. Then I thought, good for me. I passed out. At least I slept through this nightmare. My testicles were killing me. And strangely, my right leg was killing me. Then I heard the doctor cursing over in the corner. I looked up and saw that I was bleeding. My leg was cut. The doctor was in the corner of the room, pulling off his gloves and having a fit. I asked him if we were done. He said, No, you're not done. When you passed out, you kicked my tray and knocked all the utensils on the floor. Nothing is sterilized. I asked, well, are we going to finish? He said, no, you can't control yourself. Get dressed. You're out of here. I was about to get up, and then he told me to wait. He still had to sew up my incision. My genitalia had an extra hole in them I didn't need. I asked him, has anything been done? Do I have half a vasectomy? Is that a thing? Can I get my wife halfway pregnant? He just said, you don't have a vasectomy. I made the first incision and you kicked me. So I went through all that pain and I could still get my wife pregnant. I basically paid this guy a bunch of money to walk in, had him kick me in the crotch and throw me out. Good times. I walked out, or I guess I should say limped out of the office as quickly as I could. I was met by my wife, whom I love's smiling face. She was standing there with my 2 children, holding a balloon that said, congratulations. By the way, I did choose a different doctor to finish the procedure, this time under general anesthesia, for obvious reasons.
Okay, folks, it's time to pop that top and let's get to those cocktails.
Hey, welcome to the Stories and Cocktails Podcast drunken portion of the show. We like to say, if you don't want to stay sober, well, don't come over.
Oh, I didn't know that we like to say that.
Well, we do like to
That's
say
a
that.
funny thing. When did we start saying that?
I stole it from a sign I saw at a beach shack here in Myrtle Beach. So I can't take any credit for this shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
We always walk through all of the tchotchke stores because I fucking love tchotchkes. This time we walked through with a mission, though. The mission this time is you had the fucking phenomenal, great idea. We were at a tiki bar here in Myrtle Beach.
Yes.
And there was a sign that said, surrender the booty.
Yes.
Very pirate ship-esque. And
Yes.
you said, we should probably hang that sign right over the fucking bed in the RV. And I was like, we should.
And that's why I love you, because I like that you were like, yeah, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to surrender the booty. So I was
Yeah,
like,
that's fucking funny.
so once you were into it, I'm like, well, fuck, I got to get this sign today.
Yeah, so then
I'm going to hang this shit over the bed tonight.
So then we went through every fucking beach shop they've got.
They actually drugged me off the street.
Oh, they did.
There was a lot of like pimping. I've been drug into strip clubs less hard than I was drug into a tchotchke shop in fucking South Carolina.
They were like towels 2 for 1, henna tattoos,
Exactly.
T-shirts. Do you want a T-shirt made?
If you buy this cage, there'll be a live hermit crab in it. I was like, what
Oh,
am I going to do with a
forgot
hermit
about
crab?
The hermit crabs. The sidewalk sales were so fucking aggressive. I forgot even about the hermit crab. I mean, if I was going to buy anything, it would be a hermit crab, right?
True. And the thing about this place is it's a little different here in Myrtle Beach. So it was like, is this guy pimping methamphetamine or is he just pimping the hermit crabs or the henna tattoos?
No
Like,
one knows.
not really sure because he was missing a lot of his teeth. And I don't want to be disparaging about a place. I know this place is called the Redneck Riviera by other people. I don't call it
You
that.
don't call it that.
Because I don't call this place anything. Because I didn't know this place even fucking existed until I stopped my RV here.
It's also called Dirty Myrtle.
Well, it's fucking dirty here.
I thought it was quite clean.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't like step in like
Bum piss.
human feces.
Yeah.
Right?
It's cleaner than San Francisco.
Exactly.
But that's a bar is pretty low. To say a place is cleaner than San Francisco is not really making the place clean.
I don't know. They wrote songs in the 70s about San Francisco. I don't think they wrote songs in the 70s about Myrtle Beach.
I don't think they did.
Can you think of a single one?
No, I can't. I can't.
So the
actually.
San Francisco bar is quite high, and the Myrtle Beach bar
Based on #1 songs in the Billboard charts
in the 70s, yes.
in the 70s. Sitting by the dock of the bay.
Oh, is that about San Francisco too?
Yeah, the bay, the dock and the bay.
Oh,
San
there's
Francisco
another
Bay.
one. I saw a headline that said Myrtle Beach City Council is already saying, it's only May, and they're already saying tourism is down for 2024. And they're bemoaning it, and they're like, how do we get tourism up? And I was like, I don't know. If only there were a couple of content providers camping at the KOA. Maybe slip us a couple $100.
I know why tourism's down here. Because they still have the thong ban here. You can't actually wear a thong bathing suit. There's a law against it.
So anyway, henna tattoos and 2 for 1 towels and hermit crabs. We didn't want any of them.
No, we didn't give a fuck about that.
I wanted a sign that said surrender the booty.
Surrender the booty.
But this is not like a unique sign. I've seen this sign in a million fucking places. Like if you have a tiki theme, you have a beach theme, you have a pirate theme, surrender the booty. And me being a complicit partner to 21st century sexism, I was like,
Please hang a sign over the RV bed that says surrender the booty. So every time I go to bed, I can look at it and go like, well, I guess it's my job as a spouse to surrender the booty tonight. I want this sign because I don't want to use words. I just want to point.
you just want
Yeah. You look at me like, what do you want? I'm just like, pointing to the fucking sign.
You're
Fucking-
like, I fucking drove us here, didn't I? I deserve the booty.
I used 2 screws and shoved this into a wall so you can just surrender the booty. What am I fucking talking to you for?
Well, lucky for my booty, I guess. We never found the sign.
Oh, your booty is saved.
I just feel like now I have autonomy of my booty and I can decide when or if I want to surrender it. You know what I mean? Like there's no sign that says I must. I could just go to bed and I can decide what I would like to do.
I think the sign should have an asterisk. It says, well, if it's convenient and if you're in the mood and it's not that certain time of the month and if you feel good about it and if your husband swept the floor and did all those chores and like if it's the right temperature
Yeah.
and the moon is in alignment with Pluto and all this shit, then maybe if he's kind to me and he spends a lot of time on foreplay, then maybe I'll allow him to touch the booty.
Yeah.
But I will never surrender such thing.
That's what I was thinking.
We should have 2 signs. One says surrender the booty, and the next sign says never surrender. Right? That's just like, that's the dichotomy of fucking being married for all these years. Right?
But we couldn't find any of those signs in any of the fucking tchotchke stores. We could get fucking hermit crab aquariums. They wanted to sell us those in
Droves.
droves.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
the crazy part is you get the hermit crab's free as long as you buy the cage. I don't know if you saw that sign.
Oh, I did not.
Free hermit crab, just buy cage.
Just by its house.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, his house is his shell. So I got to buy that.
True.
I know.
True.
They want you to buy the house that his house is in.
Oh, okay.
So I think we should go back there. I'm like, sir, I'd like this free hermit crab. They go, you got to buy the cage. You go, I don't want the plastic cage. He's already
in his house.
Yeah.
How
So-
much for the shell?
So now that I brought my attorney with me, you now have to give me that hermit crab for free. He's like, okay, motherfucker. And he's like, here's a hermit crab and tries to put it in my hand. I'm like,
Hold out your hand.
don't put it on me. I don't want to touch this motherfucker. I don't want anything to do with this fucking thing.
Well, the funny thing is a hermit is someone who just like stays in his house and is kind of agoraphobic and doesn't come out. Those hermit crabs, they were not agoraphobic. They were out. They were out of their shells. They were like scratch, like the claws on the freaking.
Please adopt.
Yes, they were. They were like, "Can I go home with you?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, but
I'm like, I already gave up my rescue dog to go on this fucking RV trip. I can't put a hermit crab in here. I am in an RV. I'm a hermit crab. Like, I got out of my RV today to go to the fucking Strand here to drink some drinks and buy a sign that says surrender my booty and fucking didn't get it.
I can't fucking be adopting crabs and shit. You know what I mean?
Nobody needs crabs.
Nobody needs.
I mean, most people try to avoid crabs.
At all costs.
For all reasons. So yeah, man, we didn't buy a hermit crab, but we did crash a pool party today.
We did.
Yeah, so I know you're really bad at crimes. So today
I
was a
am.
very trying day for you because we rolled into Myrtle Beach, Dirty Myrtle, the Redneck Riviera, where people have most of their teeth. And I don't think they sell meth with the hermit crab. I think it's a ploy where they're like, wink, wink, nod, nod. You want this hermit crab? I'm like, yeah. Why is it $100? Like, you get a total 8-ball of meth with this hermit crab. I'm like, oh, I don't want meth, sir. I just want to drink here. They go, oh, well, there's a bar down here. So anyway, so we went to a pool party today that we weren't invited to.
Okay, the weird part is that we came from Hilton Head. Now, we don't know fucking any of this. We are from the West Coast. We're on the East Coast.
The best coast.
Maybe not. But now we're on the East Coast. We don't know the difference between Hilton Head and Myrtle Beach.
Well, I know the difference now.
Now we do.
There's a
Now,
big fucking difference, everybody.
I'll tell you, in Hilton Head, no one was trying to sell me hermit crabs. No one was trying to sell me meth.
But you did surrender the booty.
To you. But it was a different vibe. We didn't belong.
It was a different planet.
We didn't belong in Hilton Head, really. They were like, oh shit, you guys are a couple of interlopers. Like, we were in an RV park where people owned the sites. We were in like a timeshare of RV parks. And they literally called us renters.
You couldn't go into that place if you had a trailer. You had to have a certain type of RV.
We were in an RV park, and I actually heard people at the pool, and they were like, are you an owner or are you a renter? I'm like, well, all of us are living in RVs. What are you talking about?
We don't own shit.
A renter I own my RV. And they're just like, yeah, but you're renting that site. You're a couple of white trash people from California.
And they said, if you just go up the road a few miles.
They were.
There's a place called Myrtle Beach. I think you guys would love it there.
You guys seem like more Myrtle Beach. And I was like, okay, fuck you. I'm going to go to Myrtle Beach and get a hermit
I'm going
crab.
to adopt a fucking crab. I saved a crab today.
So we're in Dirty Myrtle, Redneck Riviera, and I still am a rule follower. It doesn't matter where I am. I still want to follow the rules.
Yes, but fuck the rules. We're retirees. We're from California. Who's going to fucking take us to jail for crashing a pool party?
South Carolina PD.
Well, it is
Myrtle
Cinco de
Beach.
Drinko weekend. It is Cinco de Mayo tomorrow. Today is the 4th. We are doing our best. I got my beads on. I'm partying. I'm drinking. But we're not really part of this hotel, which has a really nice pool and access to the beach. I just said, let's just walk this lobby, act like we own the place, and poof, Bob's Drunkle. We're at the fucking pool bar.
All day today, you've just been like, it's Cinco de Drinko weekend. Where are my tacos at? Yeah, margaritas.
Let's get some tequila in me.
Everyone has just been looking at you like, you fucking
I'm like,
California
shot. Everyone's like, fuck off, dude.
No one gives a shit.
I haven't really found my tribe here.
It's been really sad. You haven't had a taco. I'm sorry, but you haven't had a taco.
I'll eat your taco. Surrender the booty.
So here we are in Dirty Myrtle, and I've got a cousin out here, and we went to meet her at the pool at the Westgate. So she said, we got 3 kids. We may or may not be there. We might be taking the kids up to the room for a nap or whatever. So we rode our bikes over there. They were a quick half-mile away. They were so close. It was perfect. But I'm a bad criminal. So I was like, I don't think we can get out on this pool deck.
I was like, dude, we're fine. Fucking fine.
We don't have a key.
You were flipping out about
Yes,
it. I'm like, dude, chill. Lock the fucking bikes up. You're like, should we find a bike rack? I'm like, no, just lock the bikes up to this pole and we're going to go in this pool bar and we're going to own this place. You're like, I don't know. I'm not really sure. Dude, just fucking be cool. So we walk in and I saw it's like a timeshare thing. So I was laughing. I was like, oh, they got a bunch of people in here. They're trying to sell them some bullshit timeshare. And listen, I'm going to say right now, I don't care who listens. If you buy a timeshare in Myrtle Beach, don't. That's all I want to say.
It's very nice here. I'm enjoying my time here.
Yeah, but you don't want to have a timeshare here.
Well, okay.
The amount of money that's spent on timeshares, it's not a really good investment.
I'm going to say this, and I don't care who's
Look,
listening.
I'm not Dave Ramsey, but I can tell you the timeshares aren't a good plan.
If you bought a timeshare here in Myrtle Beach and you're looking to offload it a weekend, I'm your renter.
I don't even want your timeshare. I just want the wristband to get in the pool. That's all you got to get.
Oh, no. Rent your timeshare.
So we walk all by the timeshare people, and they're all just lined up, all super excited about going to the presentation, which is going to take 90 minutes to 17 hours. And I just walk in the pool. I go right to the bartender. I'm like, listen, Chief, I need 2 fucking drinks right now. They have a mermaid Mai Tai. Let's do it. They gave us a couple of Tiki mugs. I'm like, cool. Grabbed a couple chairs sitting by the pool. We're going to see your cousin. And then we find out that, well, when you hang out in your RV and you sleep in till noon, your cousin, who has 3 kids between the ages of 2 and 7, was up at 6 in the morning.
Yes.
And they were at the pool by 6:15 this morning. And by the time we fucking rolled into the pool at noon, they were already done.
They were already in their room for nap time.
So we went ahead and tied one onto the pool while you were looking over your shoulder all the time, like, oh my God, is security checking our bikes? Should we be here? Can you move? I'm like, I'm just grabbing tables, moving chairs around. I'm like, this fucking place is ours. I'm grabbing fucking pool towels like I own the place. Like, we're good. It's all good. Then I start to notice something you don't notice. Everyone in the pool has a turquoise wristband.
We didn't.
And I was like, shit. I'm not going to mention this to my baby Sarah because if she notices this detail,
she's going to freak the fuck out.
She can't relax. Because you weren't relaxing. You're just like, I can't get my fucking cousin on the phone. Oh, we're going to get kicked out of here. I'm like, we're not going to get kicked out of here. There's no federal agency that's involved. There's no person that's being trained. Like, listen, I want you to work at the Myrtle Beach hotel pool. And when anybody comes in there without a wristband, I want to use this taser and shoot them in the heart. Knock 60,000 volts of their body, and then take them out in a stretcher. We can't have people spending $150 at the pool bar sitting by the pool. That's not status quo. So I'm like, this agency doesn't exist.
But if they did,
we're going to be fine.
Do you know how badly it would hurt to get tasered, like when your feet are wet?
I've been tased.
You're
I know how much it hurts.
Okay, but were you wet at the time?
No.
Isn't there something about electricity and water? Dude?
Yeah. But tasers aren't affected by that.
Okay, so you're telling me I'm standing in the pool.
Yeah.
And I'm wet. And
yes.
I get tased.
You're going to hate it.
Like, I'm not going to die?
No, you're not going to like it.
What about the movies when the guy is in the bathtub and the girl puts the toaster in the bathtub and kills him?
Well, that's a totally different fucking voltage and amperage. That's a toaster. That's like 120 volts. Like, that's going to kill you because that's household power, not a taser.
A toaster has more power than a taser?
Yes, for sure.
You're telling me I can't toast some fucking bread with a taser?
It's the amps to get you.
Okay, how many amps is a taser?
Not a lot of amps. A lot of volts, not a lot of amps.
Well, that's fucking nothing. No wonder everyone runs from the police.
Yeah, fucking run from the police. I mean, it hurts. It won't kill you, but it hurts.
You know what? The world according to Sarah.
Oh, yeah?
Here's the thing. If we really want to stop crime.
Tell us about this, Sarah, since you watch true crime TV like fucking all day long.
I'm just saying, now that I understand the voltage of a taser, if I'm committing a crime and I'm running from the police
Now, is this crime you went to a pool bar and you spent $150 at the pool bar, but you weren't a resident of the fucking hotel?
I wasn't a guest of the hotel.
But your family was guest of the hotel?
Possibly. Anyways, I'm just saying.
That's why I told him, like, just give me their last name and a room number. I'll fucking...
If I'm running from the police and they have some taser, right, that's going to just, like, electrocute me, but not really, like, kill me or hurt me, even if I'm standing in a pool.
Right.
Or if they have a fucking toaster oven and they're going to fucking toss that at the back of my head, if I'm going to be hit on the backside of the head by a fucking toaster oven, they're heavy. That's going to hurt.
No, the issue is if you're near a pool and that toaster oven has a really fucking hella long extension cord, then you're in big trouble.
But also, if I just got hit with it, that would hurt. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Being bashed over the head by a toaster oven, not good.
Yeah.
But there's no use of force policy that says if you see two people at a pool that doesn't have the wristband, bash them over the head with a fucking toaster oven.
I'm just saying. If we're looking for non-lethal weapons.
Your paranoia is off the charts for no reason.
For American police.
You couldn't even relax.
Maybe just put a toaster in your fucking gun belt.
So I just have a holster with a big toaster oven. I'm like,
well, okay, here's the thing.
don't make me activate. I'll put you on friggin' 350 degrees. Don't make me toast you.
I don't want to get, that's funny. I don't want to get like all like morbid and shit, but like no one's ever mistaken their toaster oven for like their real gun. You know what I mean?
Well, occasionally we do mistake a tasing for a gun and we kill
Yes.
people that shouldn't have been killed. They should have just been tased. That has happened.
If you accidentally kill someone, you can't say like, oh, I thought it was my toaster.
When I was throwing the toaster oven, I didn't realize I was just punching 11 rounds down range into their fucking chest and head.
Gun.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? Maybe if I wasn't retired and I was still in policing, I could bring that. I'm like, hey, everybody, I got a new policy here. My school teacher wife said, maybe you guys should have toaster ovens in your holsters, and that will avoid the whole, was it my gun or my taser situation.
How much does the taser weigh, you think?
Probably 3/4 of a pound.
Okay. Yeah, a toaster oven probably weighs at least a pound, 2 pounds.
Oh, it's about 3 pounds.
So definitely when you go to chuck it, you could feel the weight of it.
Yeah. You're going to definitely
You know
know.
what you're chucking.
We also don't chuck stuff at people. You know what I mean?
Maybe you should.
Maybe we should just start chucking, just throwing fucking snowballs at people. Stop robbing that bank. Here comes a snowball.
Or a toaster.
Very difficult in Los Angeles to carry those snowballs around without them melting in your fucking holster. It's a big problem.
Why is this making me laugh so hard?
Because
Oh
you
my
have a junior high school fucking sense of humor. That's why. Because you were a junior high school teacher and you think this is hilarious.
I do. I'm just trying to think of all the different household appliances.
You could just throw at people.
Yeah.
Maybe we should be carrying Kirby vacuums on our holsters and throwing Kirby vacuums. They're very heavy. You hit a guy right in the head with that. Thwart a fucking robbery right away. Like, don't give me this Kirby out.
You serve a warrant. You throw a vacuum cleaner at him, and then you can clean up afterwards.
Knock the door down, then vacuum up all the shit that you knocked over. That's pretty smart. Yeah. That's public service. That's what we'll put on the side of the police cars. Like, we'll clean your shit after we beat the fuck out of your
We beat the shit out of you
Yeah.
with a fucking household
Exactly.
appliance.
We'll clean all the blood off your fucking kitchen floor. Yeah. It's good. So luckily for you, Myrtle Beach PD has not implemented the toaster oven use of force, so there was no worry to have. We were just drinking tiki drinks by the fucking pool, by the beach in Myrtle Beach. So you couldn't chill the fuck out because you knew that any second now there was going to be black helicopters showing up, people coming down with sunglasses and suits on, and they were going to cuff you, tase you, hit you over the head with a fucking toaster oven, and take you to Guantanamo Bay because you broke the...
I broke the rule of you're not a guest here at this hotel. You cannot use our pool.
I didn't see that sign.
That's true, actually. I'm like really like thinking about
Well, there wasn't a sign.
Was
it was
there
a fucking public
single
place.
sign out that said like guests only beyond
No.
this point?
Nowhere.
Eventually, thankfully, the nap time was over. My cousin came back
It
downstairs
saved us
with
from being
all
deported.
3 of her boys.
Being
and
banished from
she
the
had
pool.
her wristband, and her husband had his wristband, and the 3 boys had wristbands, and
But Sarah
so
did not.
We still didn't have wristbands, but at least we were with wristbanded people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like we felt like we're an extension of this whole wristbanded.
But nobody said shit to
family.
us ever.
No one ever did.
Actually, I could be honest. I was moving tables around and chairs around, lounges around from people with wristbands, and the security's like, that's fine. This guy's got a super high bar tab. Like, he's spending money, this motherfucker. It's all good. So we hung out with your cousin, who was beautiful and wonderful, and her husband, and they have 3 kids between the ages of 2 and 7. And the whole time they were there, just doing what kids do, just having fun in the pool, running around, eating cookies and drinking juice and having a blast. I thought to myself, thank goodness my kids are grown.
You did.
I don't want to do this again.
And then you said, because you can't not say cringy things, you looked at my cousin and you're like, so what'd you do? You guys took care of business, so you're not going to have a 4th one, right? And I'm just like, what the fuck? Who says that? And then thankfully she was just like, oh, yeah. Tyler snipped. We're good. No more babies for us. We took care of business.
It wasn't cringy. The 2 parents looked a bit tired. So I was like, you look tired. Like, you don't want to fucking sign up for one more of these fucking things, right? I mean, this is a bad idea. And they're like, we agree, sir. That's why we got a vasectomy.
Yes.
Which is a segue to the story today, which is called How to Live Kid-Free, published May 22nd, 2003 in the Santa Maria Sun, a story about me getting my vasectomy after I had 2 children, because if I didn't, you were going to have a 3rd. I didn't want 3.
I know. You did not want a third.
I did not want 3.
You didn't even want a first kid.
No, I fucking didn't. I had nothing to do with all these kids.
No. Okay. So, yes. In the story, you actually say that. You say both kids were a surprise. And I had a real issue with this because the second child was not a surprise. The first one was. I'll admit that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't a surprise to you. It was a surprise to me.
I surprised you with that one.
Yeah, you did.
Our second child, Addie, she was not a surprise. I made you fully aware of the fact.
That's not true. I was working graveyards and I was sleeping during the day, and you would crawl into bed in the middle of the day. You'd put Gus down for a nap, and you would basically ride me to get my sperm because you wanted a baby.
Yeah. But I mean, you know how babies are made, right?
I mean, in the story, I said I had to look into it because it
No.
turns out sex is how it happens.
Yes. So you were well aware how babies were made. I came in, wake up, wake up. You're like, oh, I worked a long shift last night. I'm like, I don't care. I would like to have sex
I'm like,
right
I had
now.
a whole day throwing toaster ovens at people at my job in law enforcement.
You were like, oh, you want to have sex? I always want to have sex. That's what you've been telling me since the day I met you. You're just like, I'm always ready for you.
I'm open for business at all times.
I was like, okay, this is the business I would
This
like.
is the business. Let's do it.
And then later you're like, our second child was a surprise to me.
I
like,
was asleep. I was fucking asleep.
Well, you should have told little Rob to stay asleep.
Well, little
Oh,
Rob's
man.
always ready to rock and roll.
Exactly.
He can't be trusted. That's why we don't let little Rob make all the decisions.
I took care of business, got the second pregnancy that I wanted. And
Took my spunk.
I say pregnancy because I was still pregnant and you were like, I'm getting a vasectomy. You booked your appointment for your vasectomy and I was still pregnant with Addie. And that's when I said to you, can I please just have this baby first? Can we just make sure that the second one is going to come out okay before we close off business?
I was indifferent to that. I'm like, I don't care.
I don't trust you.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I promise you I'm not going to get pregnant with a third kid while I still am cooking the second kid. I can't get more pregnant than I am right now. So please, 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 just let me get this baby out. Let's just make sure everything is all good in the hood. I was 23 years old. That's what I remember telling you. I'm 23 years old. I do not want to be fucking done infertile at 23 fucking years old. And you were just like, all right, when is this baby's due date? And I was like, late July. And you
Booking
were like,
the shift the next day.
oh, you were. You were like, okay, fine. August 1st. I'm getting my vasectomy.
Yeah, because you couldn't be trusted. And the crazy part is, when my first vasectomy didn't go through, and it did not go through, as it was mentioned in the story, it was fucking horrible. There was like, I had to wait before my next vasectomy, and you were trying to get little Rob to get you pregnant.
No, I was not.
Yes, you were. Yes,
No,
you
I
fucking
was
were.
not. That's
Absolutely were.
that's
And I was
bullshit.
like, this chick's gonna try to get pregnant. There's an opportunity to get my third kid, the one I always wanted.
That's bullshit.
The Nobel Peace Prize winning gold medal swimmer. That's the one that's going to happen next. I'm going to have this baby. I'm like, I got to get this vasectomy, dude. I got
That's
to get this
bullshit.
vasectomy.
I wasn't trying to get pregnant weeks after my second one was born.
Yes, you were.
No, I
Yes,
wasn't.
You were.
In
You're like,
every
it's okay. It's okay.
no.
Go ahead and put it inside me, Big Daddy.
No, oh my God, you're such a fucking liar. Weeks after Addie was born, I was like, stay the fuck away from me.
So the funny part is that when the doctor was telling me, he's like, hey, man, what if you get divorced? You meet a new woman. She wants a kid. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that is not my problem. I will just lie to that woman and be like, I don't know. It's probably you. Maybe we should have sex more times. Let's just keep doing it as much as we can every single day. I would never tell the next girl that I had a vasectomy.
Yeah, though, that's been your favorite joke ever since you got the vasectomy.
Yeah.
And then the doctor said to me, what if you get remarried? I'll just tell her, we got to keep fucking, baby. Yeah. And I have heard you tell that joke so many fucking times. And I'm like, the joke's on you, 50-year-old. You never got remarried. You were always with me. And I always knew you had a vasectomy.
Yeah, but I never got my girlfriend.
And not only did I always know that you had a vasectomy, I'm just talking right over that.
You're not gonna engage that.
Yeah, I'm not even going to fucking acknowledge that. Not only did I always know you had a vasectomy, but I always also remembered the day I went to pick you up from said vasectomy. Now, I've had 2 fucking children. One of them was cut out of me after hours and hours and hours and hours. There's a fucking labor. Second child, I spit out, like, still though. Like, my entire vagina gets ripped open. This is where I am at in my life. You get a fucking shot in the balls and the tiniest incision, and you pass out like the most giantest nutsack that you are.
Yeah, I'm a total wuss.
And I go to pick you up and I have balloons.
You're like, congratulations, honey. We're done.
I didn't get I spit out 2 fucking human beings and I didn't get balloons. I didn't get flowers. I didn't get fucking chocolates.
You got 2 kids. You wanted those kids. I gave you those kids. You didn't deserve flowers, chocolates, and balloons because you got what you wanted.
It's not even a hospital. It's outpatient. And I'm sitting there with the fucking balloons. And I hear the doctor. So what the story doesn't say, the story says the doctor says to you, you're not done.
You got to come back.
I'm in the lobby and this doctor starts, I've never even met this doctor. And this doctor starts yelling out to me and my balloons and my 2 children. He's not done. He could still get you pregnant. He is not done. And I'm just like, this seems really unprofessional.
Dude, this place was a fucking shit show. It was like hostile urologist. So scary. So the next doctor I went to, I asked him, I said, hey, man, I had this vasectomy, went wrong. And he's like, you're kind of telling the tall tale here, dude. I'm like, this guy's a freaking quack. He goes, well, that guy is like the leading gunshot trauma surgeon in Los Angeles before he came up here to the Central Coast to do urology. And he goes, he could do a vasectomy with his fucking eyes closed. I'm like, I think that's the problem. I think he fucking did it with his eyes closed. That's what I'm trying to say, bro. This guy phoned this shit in and he fucked it up. And then I got to get a vasectomy from you now.
No, what I hear is this guy deals with gunshot trauma and can do vasectomies with his eyes closed because he's dealing with real men who can fucking handle gunshot wounds and vasectomies. And then he gets you in his office and you freaking pass out at like a pinprick that looks like, hey, we're going to just prick your finger and just find out what your blood type is. And you fucking pass out like a nutsack and your body goes into convulsions and you kick his tray. And he's just like, I'm not dealing with this. He's like, if I wanted to deal with little crybabies, I would do circumcisions. But I'm sorry. I thought I was dealing with men who had already had a bunch of children and who had already proved their toughness. I'm in the vasectomy business. And you're just
I remember laying on the table.
I'm crying like a baby.
And it hurt so fucking badly. And I felt myself passing out. Well, when I passed out, I tried to defend myself. I kicked this metal tray.
No, you didn't try to defend yourself.
And knocked it off the ground.
No one was attacking you.
My man who was being handled.
When you passed out, you had
He's
like
in
an
the corner, pulls
involuntary
his gloves off. He's like throwing his. He's like, "You're out of here." I'm like, "Do I have a vasectomy?" He's like, "No," and like runs out and then tells you, yelling out to the whole waiting room, "He's not done. He's got to come back." I'm like, "Bro, I am not fucking coming back. This dude is a total psychopath."
So then you had to go back, not to him. You went to a new doctor.
Yes.
Because he put in your chart, this guy passes out. He needs general anesthetic. So today, my cousin's husband, he got a vasectomy and then he got on a plane the very next day and he flew across the country and he went to a football game. And he's like, yeah, no, it was like uncomfortable because I was wearing jeans and I was walking all around and I should have brought my gym shorts.
The man is an American hero.
That's a story right there.
He's a fucking stud. I think I did like a 5-day recovery where I just laid in bed.
My husband, he passes out before the vasectomy can be vasectomized. So you have to go to the hospital now. And that's like a whole ordeal. And on top of you not being able to just get a shot in the nuts, it turns out you're not good at anesthesia either.
No, I'm not.
So now you're going in for your vasectomy for the second fucking time. And your mom has to come and stay with us.
I'm like, can my mom come? Because it's going to be really hard.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that you can take care of 2 babies.
And me.
Take care of me at the same time. Can my mom come and help? And I'm just like, you can move back in with your mom.
Get the fuck out of here. Just send your checks for baby food.
So you
Diapers.
have to go to the hospital and they put you under and me and your mom are waiting. One of us is going to stay with the kids. One of us is going to go pick you up. And the hospital keeps calling and they're like, oh, he's having a really hard time coming out of his general anesthetics. I'm like, oh, is he? Because he can't handle those fucking drugs either. For an outpatient procedure, you ended up being in the hospital for like 30 hours. You had to stay overnight so they could monitor you because you can't come off of your drugs. Your mom and I are looking at each other like, and I'm looking at her like, you raised him. And she's looking at me like, you married him. And I'm looking at these 2 babies. And I'm like, he's your fucking dad. And all 4 of us.
Nobody wants to take this on.
Are just like, oh my God, why is he such a wimp?
And the funny part was, it's like, they couldn't get me off anesthesia. And I was like, if you just take this fucking needle out of my arm, I'll be fine. So they finally did. They pulled me off the IV. And I was like, oh, I'm good. I don't like needles. I'm so sorry. And you had to fucking raise 2 kids with this dumbass.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to get just like ranting and raving.
No, it
arms are
happened. Like, it
flying.
happened.
It's just.
But yeah, no, I was like, yeah, that was
But
tough.
it's also because I have heard you regurgitate this story. You had this vasectomy 21 years ago.
Yeah.
And I have
I've been
heard
shooting
you.
blanks for 21 years.
I've heard you countless times. You are such a spin doctor. I have listened to you for over 20 years spin this story of how you're literally the biggest nutsack I've ever known, right? And I know it, and you know it. And then you get a few beers in you. You're in every brewery that I've ever been in with you. And you've spin doctored this story into just like, so there I was the toughest guy. It took 2 vasectomies to make me infertile.
Actually, this story has been requested. People are like, dude, tell your vasectomy story. It's
Yes,
so great.
and you tell it. And then he took my nutsack and he pulled it up over my head. And then he cut it wide open. And then all these men who have vasectomies, who did it outpatient, came home, put a fucking frozen sack of peas on their nuts, and an hour later were playing golf. They're listening to you and they're just like, oh shit, this is the craziest story ever. And I'm like, is it? Because I think the craziest story ever is you put a sack of frozen peas on your nuts and an hour later played golf. That is fucking John Wayne manly bullshit. What happened to Rob? I don't even know what that is.
I've had women say, please do not tell your vasectomy story to anyone near me because I want my husband to get a vasectomy. And then I know that you've told the story in the past and men have then not gotten vasectomies and made their wives get their tubes tied because the story is so horrifying and grotesque for men to hear.
Yeah, that's shameful. Tube tying, it's called tubal ligation, is way more invasive.
Not for my balls, it isn't. I love when he says, it's way more invasive. I'm like, not for my nuts. Fuck her.
Ain't no tubes in my body.
Not my fucking problem. So we haven't talked about what we've been drinking yet. Tonight, you're not drinking Bud Light. You're actually drinking something different. What do we got here?
Okay, so tonight, we're definitely on this sparkling ice kick, right?
Yes.
So this sparkling ice, 0 sugar, it's 5 calories for the whole bottle. So right now we have black cherry. But what I learned is if you pour out 20%.
Yep.
And then you fill it back up with vodka and stick it in the freezer.
Yeah.
The vodka makes it so that it doesn't freeze. It just gets like slushy. So you just have this like slushy, but it's in a sparkling ice bottle. So you could just drink it out in public and everyone's just like, oh, that's a person who likes to hydrate.
They're usually hydrating with a low-calorie water.
With flavored water. Yeah. And this is flavored water with vitamins B6, B12, and E.
So we're actually getting healthier by getting drunk.
Now, I don't know about vitamins E and B12, but I've heard B6 also helps with hangovers.
I heard B9 is nothing. It's pretty benign.
So that's super funny. So I want to go back to the story for just a sec. Okay, so 2 things about the story. First, you talked about the nurse. She escorted you into the room.
Yes.
Was she hot?
She was hot in like, I don't think she was a real nurse. I think she was just more like a girl who worked at this particular penis doctor's location.
Okay.
So I think she probably did maybe 3 semesters of junior college. It didn't really go together. She was trying to do like some cosmetology shit.
Oh.
That didn't come together either.
Oh, you know her whole backstory.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
you know, she saw me with my pants off. I want to get a little backstory.
Right.
So after that kind of failed attempt at cosmetology, she lands a job at this particular penis doctor. And he's like, look, you're cute. Shake your hips around. And then, you know, just escort dudes back. Make them feel comfortable. Pull their pants down.
Okay.
And then I'll punch them right in the dick with a needle.
Look, we had talked a lot. Like we had really, really, really demasculated you in talking about what a wuss you are. And
Yes.
how you passed out and shit. So I just wanted to give you the opportunity to reassert your manhood by shitting over my whole gender. And so you're welcome. I gave you the opportunity by just picking some random woman who's just trying to do her job and completely discrediting her.
Well, maybe she should have given me a warning. She should have pulled me aside and said, listen, bro, this guy sucks at his job. You look like a guy who doesn't want to have a problem. I think you should pull your pants up and go out the back door, and I'll distract the doctor and say he canceled. Then if she had done that, I wouldn't have said disparaging things about her 3 semesters of fucking junior college and her failed cosmetology career.
Maybe she pulled the doctor aside and she said, hey, listen, doc, this guy, he looks like a wuss. He looks like he's not going to be able to handle what's happening. So save your own career and reputation and just kick this guy.
Well, I didn't want to tell you the real truth. The truth is, when she escorted me into the room, I said, listen, baby, you have about 30 seconds to get this spunk out of this dick.
Oh my
Because
God.
it's got to be cut off for business. So if you want to have a baby, Like, I can provide that. I'm very fertile. You got 30 seconds to make it happen. And then this shit's getting sliced off forever. And she said, I am not interested in any way in your spunk. And then she told the doctor, kick him right in the nuts. Fuck him.
Good.
Yeah, karma.
That's what you fucking deserve.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that I had one more shot, at making a baby.
Now, the other thing about the story, what the fuck is a Kojak?
So Kojak was a show with the actor Terry Savalas. And this is the difference in our age. I'm a little older than you. And so sometimes there's certain like social references that I get, you don't. So when I was a kid, there was reruns of a show called Kojak. He was a bald dude, so he had no hair. And he, was a private eye, solved crimes. I don't even remember the fucking premise of the show. But Kojak was a term, like, oh, Kojak, bald. It was the term for bald men.
Oh.
So if I shave my balls look like Kojak's head.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thinking about this whole vasectomy bullshit.
It's not bullshit to me. It was
I had already had 2 children.
already mentioned before. Nobody cares.
I'd had 2 times recovering from having a child. So
Women have been having children for fucking millions of years. It's not that big a deal. You women love to make a big deal out of it. Nobody cares.
my vagina had been very, very, very traumatized because children had tried to come out of it or children had come out of it. Doctor cut a little bit to try to get children out of it. Been very traumatized.
Sure.
And each time,
This was by choice, though. You wanted this.
each time, doctors said, don't have sex for 6 weeks. And then doctors do this thing where they like wink, nudge you. And they're like, by 6 weeks, you're probably going to have sex. But if you need a little more time, let me know and I'll give you a doctor's note. As if like marriage is like,
We got to surrender
like
the booty.
PE class. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh,
He's going to be obligating sex.
here's
from
for
you.
my PE teacher. Like, oh, the doctor says I need another 2 weeks
I
before
don't
I can
actually
run the
after you
mile.
dress out today.
I can't have sex for 2 more weeks. So I had 2 different doctors in 2 different cities kind of tell me like, but I will give you an extension on your PE note. So anyways, I had been through this where I need the extension or I don't need the extension. Like there's just like this whole like marital thing where you're just like, hey, do you want to have sex? And after a fucking baby comes out of your body, whether it comes out C-section or it comes out your vagina or whatever, it's like nursing on you and it's just on you and it's just like so no, I never want to have sex again. Like you go back to the doctor and you're just like, can you give me a note that says I never have to have sex
Can I get a
again?
lifetime ban
I get
from using my vagina again?
Exactly. Can I just get a closed for
Get a
business
fucking
sign?
divorce.
Like, please stay married to me, but I'm closed for business. I had been through this and been through this like, oh, it hurts and and I'm afraid and I don't want to have sex. And so you get this vasectomy. And I think they told you like same thing, like you can't. Yeah, I think they told you like you can't have an erection for like a week.
And I said, don't bust a nut.
Oh, they said
Don't have an orgasm.
okay, so you can have an erection.
Because you don't want to shoot jizz through the vas deferens and blow them apart.
Okay, so what was it like a week?
I think it seemed like a 365 days.
It was like a year.
It was an inordinate amount of time for a man who masturbates 3 times a day. I'm like, that's a lot to ask from me, dude.
So I just remember I was like, revenge. I'm getting revenge. And this is how fucking sick you and I are as a couple. I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to help
this poor thing.
nurse you back to
have an
health.
orgasm
And,
for 7 days.
like I'm going to make sure that I don't, bend over in front of him and, like get him excited because he can have an orgasm for 7 days. I want to make sure that he heals. You and I are so fucking sick that I was just like, oh, it's on like Donkey Kong, motherfucker. Like all the times that you tried to have sex with me after I spit out a fucking baby, it's on. I'm going to get my revenge. So I think the doctor
This is
told
where I
you-
think you're trying to have another kid.
No, I wasn't trying to have another kid. I was just trying to like get revenge. And I bought lingerie and I turned the lights down and I put music on and I was like, hey, and you were like, whoa, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. I'm there's something coming over me. Like I'm so
What's wrong with you?
innocent in this.
God damn, you're fucked up.
I was really trying to get revenge. I remember this so clearly, like revenge was going to be mine. And I was just like, oh, it's too bad. I guess you can't have sex. Like it will hurt, right? And you don't want to. And you were just like, flood air, hard as a rock. You were like, come over here. And I was like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, I definitely did not meet the criteria. I didn't wait.
This is
I couldn't do
not
it.
what I had planned on. You know what I mean? Like this is not.
Joke's on you.
No.
So, thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for enjoying another episode of Stories and Cocktails from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Boys, I have one recommendation. Get that vasectomy.
Boys, I have one recommendation. Outpatient. Man up. Don't pass out.
I have another recommendation. Women, date other women. Men are lame.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Cheers.
Cheers.
And that was Last Call. You did it. You survived an episode of Stories and Cocktails. But did Rob or Sarah's liver survive the show? I don't know. Tune into the next episode to find out, to enjoy some more stories and some more cocktails. By the way, if you want to support the debauchery of the show, then buy the host their next round by Venmoing a couple of gold doubloons at Stories and Cocktails. Back in the day, a gold doubloon was only $4 Spanish. Who knew? Well, folks, I'll be right here behind the bar, cleaning the glassware and awaiting your return to the Stories and Cocktails podcast. Cheerio, friends.
If you enjoy hearing Rob Kreider's different humor columns here on the Stories and Cocktails podcast, then I promise you will love his novel, Cadet Blues. Cadet Blues is Rob's hilarious tell-all about desperately trying to survive the shock and awe boot camp-style training at the California Highway Patrol Academy. People from all different walks of life have come to love this book because Cadet Blues is simply a crazy good read. Heartfelt, inspiring, and damn funny. It's available in paperback through Amazon, eBay, or cadetblues.com, where you can get free shipping and a personalized autographed book. Or you can download a digital copy of Cadet Blues from Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, or Apple iBooks. Do yourself a favor and check out the novel, Cadet Blues.